Yo. So, doing a little waiting here in good old Chicago. I hate this city. Cannot wait to get out of here. And I was watching a little YouTube. What is that noise? Is that a jet? Gotta be. But I was watching a little YouTube. Ran across Jay Cannell's video from I don't know when it was from. It was probably a couple of years ago now. But he's telling a story from the road about of course a rookie mistake, and I mean it was just a fun story. So I was like, well, I gotta have a story like that or something. And I was like, let's think about it. Oh, I got one. Okay, yeah, I do. I mean, I don't have that many stories to pull from. I ain't been out here that long. God, these people are horrible. There's no yielding to traffic or anything. They just go and hope not to die. But anyways, I'll tell my story. So this load, I believe, was from like Western Ohio to New York somewhere. I can't remember where exactly. This was like last year, fall maybe? No, maybe it was this year. Maybe it was this year, like spring or something. I have no idea. I don't remember when this happened. We'll put it at that. But most of you know that I'm a flatbed driver, which it's amazing that I don't have more stories like this, but I guess like just following rules and doing things to where you're comfortable with how it is in your trailer has saved me for the most part, I guess. I don't know what to attribute it to, but I've gotten away with a lot of junk out here. But this was not one of those days. This is not one of those days. Give him a wave. Bunch of trucks coming through here. So, I thought he was going to ask me a question or something. So, yeah, Western Ohio going to New York. This was, I don't know if you've ever been in a warehouse. Well, I mean, if I could turn the camera on, I could show you the stuff that I'm talking about. They actually have some right there with the door open, but it's basically the racks that warehouses have to stack stuff. Caught myself. Stack stuff up, and obviously it's got to get there somehow, and it goes on a flatbed trailer. And I've hauled this a bunch of times. There's actually a pretty major account for my company that is, well, it used to be very normal for me to haul this stuff. It was like 20 miles away from the terminal where I live, so it was very normal to haul this stuff. But this was a different place, and I was like, this is the same stuff, just throw it on there how you would, and that's pretty much what I did. And looking back on it and looking at it at the time, I did not put enough on there to hold it down as good as I should have in terms of straps. Usually, it'd be an absolute mess on the trailer of straps just trying to hold this stuff there. And it's all, banded together and, stacked nice and organized properly, all this good stuff. And I didn't have to tarp this load, so I was like, cool, I'll just throw a couple straps and we're out of here. And I did that and got to running. And I believe I was past Columbus. What the hell is Columbus? I don't know. Southern, whatever you want to call it. Basically, I got over to 70 East. I was running out of Columbus, and I needed to take my 30-minute break for the day. And so I was like, okay, I'll pull into this Love's, get posted up for my 30-minute break, and it'll all be cherry. And so I turn to get off the highway, and I see, in my mirrors, because I'm, watching where my trailer's going, all that good stuff. If anyone's coming off the ramp with me, going onto the shoulder, whatever kind of wildness they want to participate in. But, none of that was going on. But my load was doing little wiggle dance on the trailer. I was like, oh, that doesn't look good. Like, good thing I'm stopping so I can, tighten this down. And in flatbed, you're supposed to stop every 3 hours to do a safety check, which basically means check all your straps and whatever you're using. Check it all to make sure that it's all where you put it and as tight as you put it. And, that's a legal thing. You have to do that. I'm pretty sure if you get pulled into a scale and they see that you're not doing that, they might just give you a smack on the wrist. I don't know. I just do it, That's all it is. I just do it. So I pull in here and I'm like, okay, great. It's moving around a little. Good thing I'm stopping. Get to where I need to turn to get into the truck stop. I'm like, okay, let's just take it easy in here. Everything is not tight on there, and this stuff is liable to do whatever it wants. So I pull into the truck stop, and the driveway was not exactly flush with the road. There's a pretty reasonable bump on this driveway, and I think if I would have gone slower pulling in, it probably wouldn't have been as bad. But as soon as I pulled in and hit that bump with, first steers, drives, and then trailer, as soon as it got straight again, I realized that on my driver's side mirror, I was no longer able to see, a straight line with how this load is supposed to be stacked upwards. Look into my right mirror, and it's all leaning off to the right side. All of it. It's looking like it's just about to fall off. That's what it was looking like. And I was like, great. We're in the process of losing our first load off the side of the trailer. This is awesome. I can't believe this is happening. It didn't happen, but we'll get to that part. So I pull into this truck stop, and I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how to, pull this back to the side and get more straps on it so it doesn't do this again. And I'm on my 30-minute break, so I'm like, okay, great, this is the perfect time to do that. I'm not, on the clock where I should be running, and I'm not, this is kind of perfect timing for something like this to happen. I got time to mess around with it. So I pull in, find a spot, and I start throwing straps on here to, at an angle where I can pull it back over. I'm trying to influence this load to use that strap to pull itself back. And it's not working. It's not working at all. And I'm, just looking at this this is really, really not good. I'm definitely in deep trouble. I'm in super deep trouble if I just keep going like this and, tell no one. So I can't remember if I called him or if I sent a message to him, but I got in contact with my dispatcher and I was like, yo, I don't know what to tell you, but this load just shifted pretty good and I don't feel comfortable going anywhere with this thing like it is. And he's like, oh, what happened? Have you tried fixing it? Yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, yeah, I have. And, nothing's really working. And, here in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, they're probably going to have to, find somewhere around there that has, a forklift or something that they could, push it back over and, then we'd be good to go or something like that. But this was not the case. So he says, okay, take a couple of pictures and, show me how bad this is, because obviously you can't see what's going on. There's no cameras looking at the trailer, nothing like that. So I go out, take a few pictures and send it in. And he's like, yeah, that's really bad. Don't go anywhere. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. And he's like, I can't remember what exactly he was saying, but it was basically to the effect of, keep trying to fix this thing, but we're going to see if we can get someone out there to help you. And I'm like, okay, perfect. That's exactly what I want to hear, because, I'm going to keep trying to, mess with this thing and get it to come back and, work, but if not, I'm going to need some assistance here. And, nothing works at all. And I'm like, I'm asking them, so, I can't remember. Oh man, this happened a little too long ago for my memory. I didn't think to put it in my story catalog, so it's all a little hazy. But basically, I just sat there for the entire day. I don't remember when exactly I stopped, but I want to say that it was like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, maybe noon. I have no idea, but I just remember that it was basically the middle of the day, and 30-minute break, that's when that's got to happen. But I can't remember what exactly I said or whatever, but he was just like, just stay put, we'll have someone on the way. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And so I slept the night there, and now now I can't exactly remember. How did this happen? I believe that I slept the night there, and the next day, this can't be how this happened. It can't be. No. It wasn't like that. Okay, we're taking that all back. Rewind it. So I'm sitting there, and they're like, oh yeah, like we're going to send someone over and get you some help. Just stay put. And I'm like, okay, great. So I stay there for probably like 4 hours, something like that. I think it was, I don't know. Anywhere in the range of like 2 to 6 hours. I can't remember exactly how long I was sitting there. But basically, they sent someone over, and I was like, okay, who should I be looking for? Yada yada yada. Oh, you'll know when you see him or whatever. And another driver from my company pulls up and parks next to me. And I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? And he's like, oh, are you the driver that had the load shift? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, they sent me over here to help you out with that. And I'm like, really? Isn't that interesting? So here I am thinking they're sending out like a forklift or something nice. Not the case. They sent another driver, and I think he had like 3 or 4 years of experience. So he was definitely the right person to send over. It was a good thing they didn't send like someone less experienced than me. That would look kind of bad. But he sent this guy over, and he's like looking at it, and I'm telling him what I've already done. And he's like, I don't know why they sent me over here. And I'm like, I don't know either. Like, we might as well try something while you're here. And so we're like running straps. We're running straps from the one side of the load that shifted on the right side all the way over to his trailer, and he's parked on my left side. And we're trying to get this thing to pull over, and nothing is working. And, he's just like, bro, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, shoot, I don't know what to tell you either. And I was just like, I'm just going to throw a bunch of junk on this that doesn't, like, in a normal situation, wouldn't need to be there. But I'm just going to throw it on there because it's messed up. So I threw, chains, straps, going across, and just stuff hanging off of one side, and, like, just trying to keep it stuck where it's at, sitting, normal trailer sitting like this. It's basically sitting like that. I'm trying to keep it right there for the next, I don't even know. I think it was like 400 miles or something like that. It was a pretty good distance, and I was like, I guess we see what happens. I guess we just send it. And I told my dispatcher, okay, like, guy wasn't much help or whatever, but it was kind of nice to have someone there for moral support. I can't remember what I said, but he was like, okay, well, do you think if you woke up at midnight and just tried to run it there, if you could get it there, at a reasonable hour? And I was like, yeah, I'll give it a try. And so not only do we have a load shift, now we have a load shift that needs to be run in the dark. And this is an issue because you can't see what's happening. So you're looking at the mirror and you just see black. You don't really see anything. You see people's headlights and stuff like that, but that's it. And so I'm using my my lights that point towards, I think they call them load lights. Yeah, load lights. I'm using my load lights to check it out while I'm driving down the road to make sure that it's not doing anything. Hit a bump, I'm like, did it go anywhere? You know, I'm like checking automatically. And it somehow, some way, this load made it to where it needed to go. I have no idea how it happened. It perplexes me to this day how it actually got there, but it did. That is the important part. I think it's my turn. But yeah, that's my story. I guess I got a little complacent in how I was doing things, and it bit me in the ass. It is what it is. It worked, but it bit me in the ass, and it could have been way worse. So I'm grateful for that, and I learned a good lesson. I don't know. Take what you want out of it. That's my story. Bye-bye.